Greetings everyone, welcome back to Blade Bias. There's a package on the table. I already did my unboxing of it, but you guys won't see that until later this week because it has been a week since I got the Gaboon and the Vortex, but that will be coming next. And what a week it has been. Full spoilers, have really come around on the Gaboon. Initially I said it was a bit too small, it flipped a bit weird, and it was just a bit too hog-nosy for me. But over the course of this week, I've found that it commits to the idea of being small wholeheartedly, which I found that the hognose kind of doesn't. Let's take a look at the hognose really quick. If you look at the hognose, it's small in this direction. It's just as small as the Gaboon, but then you flip it, and it's got like this weird part where it's thicker. It's like a snake eating something, which I think is intentional, but it makes it feel simultaneously small and big, which when combined with the balance, not the greatest fan of. Again, I like the hognose. I think it's a pretty interesting flipper. It's just not my favorite thing in the world, as I've made clear in multiple videos. So I thought the same thing was going to be the case for the Gaboon, but I have found that since it commits wholeheartedly to being small, it's small on every axis. The bottom is small, it's thin, it's physically small. It just kind of works. It's a little bit more uniform. It works a little better for me. I actually like it. Now, granted, I would like it a lot more if I was able to play with the weights a little bit, but unfortunately I was not. Ted didn't send over any weights to mess with. He also said he had a nightmare taking it apart and putting it back together, so I don't want to be doing that with someone else's knife. But I found that I like the Gaboon quite a bit. It's not my favorite thing ever. Like, this thing isn't going to beat out the Sliff T or anything like that, obviously not, but it's just kind of fun. It's a very unique but still good flipper, whereas the hognose I felt more was like a unique flipper. This thing is unique, and I think it performs pretty well. It's the unsharpened variant, which I gotta be honest, this is where I get false live blades. The problem with the Nabali's false live blades is that if you rip on them and you still hit the bite side, you might get cut in some cases. Just go talk to Den Den about that. But this is like an actual proper edge, not proper edge, like a properly rounded thing. And there's no way that this would hurt you, but it's still obvious that you're on the bite side. I actually really like it. It's the perfect combination of me not being afraid to try some tricks that I wouldn't normally do on a live blade, while still getting that feedback that, oh, I just did something wrong, I better fix that. The one exception being that there is like a corner here, like a really, really, really tough corner here that is kind of sharp and will kind of scratch you. It won't cut you, but it will scratch you, and it doesn't feel very good. Which, if you try, since again, small fingers, if I try to chaplain on this thing, I will be right on that corner, and it doesn't feel good. So if that was properly rounded for an unsharpened blade, I think this thing would be a pretty sweet transition from a trainer to a live blade. You get some of the feedback of a live blade along the whole blade without getting, the consequences of the live blade. And I actually don't mind that. I'm still not the biggest fan of false live blades in general, which I've talked about in past videos or live streams, I think. But I think it's cool. And the Gaboon overall is very cool. Now, I know there are problems with the Gaboon, I guess. If you look here, you can see that where the weight pocket is, it's like ballooning out. And I guess this is being fixed with the new handles that Grant is putting out, which currently I have no plans of checking out. The Invar handles, I believe they're called. No plans to check those out, although Ted has offered, so maybe. But it should fix the weight situation a little bit because you can access the weights from the outside. I am concerned about how they would retain their weights, considering that there's nothing to brace them against. Right now they brace against the inside of the channel, so you can tighten them all the way down. You wouldn't be able to do that if they were open on both sides like they are in the Invar handles, but, I don't know. I've never tried one, and I don't even think that they've been shipped yet. So can't really say on that one. All I can say is that I was kind of wrong about the Gaboon. I like it more than when I first unboxed it. It's a fun little balisong. And especially as an EDC, if you get a sharp one, I would love to EDC one of these. Like I said in the unboxing video, it just takes up so little space in your pocket, but then you take it out and you have a full-fledged MagnaCut knife, which I saw the MagnaCut debates in the comments last time. No idea. I'm not going to pretend I know what's going on, why people dislike it, why people like it. All I know is that I do trust Grant. I haven't personally seen any of these shipping, not saying they don't exist. I'm not, everywhere in the hobby all at once, but I think it would be a pretty big thing if it did happen. But I'm just not even going to comment on that one. MagnaCut, you can make your own decision on that one. But I think the Gaboon is pretty cool. So yeah, that was my week with the Gaboon. It turned it around. I like the flipping profile with this weight set. I would like different weights. Moving the weight down towards the end would move it more towards my balance profiles, or my balance preferences, I should say. But I like the weight. I like the size. It's a fun little flipper. It's probably the smallest balisong I've tried that I would actually consider legitimately flippable. Because you have like small balisongs all the time, and they're so tough to flip. Although, I guess I am calling this thing small when it's basically almost the same size as a regular size balisong. So yeah, anyway, that's my week with the Gaboon. Thank you so much to Ted for letting me try it out for a bit. Very excited to try one. Very excited to put the opinions out there. And I'll see you in the Vortex video, baby. Peace.